Everybody, Roger Bonds is here. His name is Bonds. He's known as the General. His story is quite it's definitely it's gonna shake your heart a little bit, or a lot of it, I should say. Bonds is known as the beginning founding Ciroc Boys group. He also did security for Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, for quite some time. He's very well known in the music industry. He is a marketing mogul, marketing genius. He's a great entertainer, but unfortunately, he is not here to talk about his life in entertainment. He's here to talk about his life as a father and the hell that he's been experiencing for the last 12 years. His son, Kevan, has been falsely accused. There is has not been a conviction since he has been incarcerated in Namibia, Africa. He's been there for 12 years. 12 years, no conviction. There's nothing it's I'm not going to say nothing, but he's been getting a tug and pull series whenever he talks to the embassy here to try to get him back on U.S. soil. And I want him to talk more about his situation. And listen, I've been following him and this story for quite some time. And now that we have a space that we can talk and get the word out, I called him up and I said, it makes no sense that I have been following you and following your whole situation and really paying attention and praying for you and cheering for you and your family. And now that I have this space, I do nothing. And so I asked him to come on the show, talk to us, and expose his story to an audience that otherwise some of you may or may not have known of, and see how we all here on the piece of the internet in the corner of the country can rally around him and band together with more people and help him get his son home. So without further ado, I bring to you Bonds. I asked him, I said, what do you want me to call you? He's like, Bonds, you could call me Bonds, the General. Hello there, young man.
Hey, what's happening?
You
How we
selling
doing?
the hell out of that gum. You better advertise. What gum are you chewing and what's the flavor?
Trident.
I love it. Well, welcome
Trident.
to,
Orange flavor.
oh, the orange flavor loses so much like flavor in 3 chews.
Yeah, you got about 3 minutes. You got about 3 minutes.
Well, listen, welcome to the Natasha Simona sequence. You know, I am so glad to host you and have you here. I'm glad you took my call. You know, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if you were going to say, "Nah, I'm not doing any press," or what. And so I'm honored to have you here to talk and tell your story.
Nah, anything to get the word out.
Yeah. So, but before we deep dive into it, I just want you to tell people just a little bit on who you are, and, you know, just a quick association with, you know, your fabulous entertainment life.
Oh, I'm just a guy from Harlem, man, born and raised from Harlem. It just happened to be in the right places and know the right people at the right times. And I ended up being one of the main guys who held down Sean Combs for a lot of years. And from I'm gonna say from 2003 to 2015, 2016, we traveled the world together. And then from there, I moved over to a brand that he started called Ciroc, where we started the Ciroc Boys, and we moved on to sell millions and millions of cases and break all type of new history and everything else. Throughout that whole time, though, I was going through this ordeal with my son, but nobody really knew about it. You know what I mean? You know, I hit it real well. You know,
Wow.
until it got ridiculous and it got to a point where I couldn't hide it no more.
So talk to me about what is going on with your son. Your son's name is Kevan.
Hmm.
And so here you are, you're living your normal life. You're showing up for work, you're doing your thing in entertainment. Your son was working, he had a job at the time, right?
Yeah.
And you're in Harlem, right? And everything is normal to your livelihood. And he takes a trip and walk us through where this how does this happen?
Well, my son was actually incarcerated. My son was actually incarcerated. He was on Rikers Island. And when he was on Rikers Island, I was visiting him. And it came a time where he met this young man. And him and this young man got really close. And they all bailed out together against my rules. They all bailed out together. And my son felt like if he stayed in the United States, he was going to get in some trouble. So opportunity came for him to go to Africa, because at this time, if you remember, Tyson Bedford and everybody was modeling and stuff like that. And my son was 6'3", he was a ball player, he had tattoos. So he was like, yo, we going out here to take some pictures. So I said, oh, okay, cool. You know, you already getting in trouble here. I said, that might be a good thing to do. So I went on to Paris. Me and Puff was in Paris. And the next thing I know is I got a phone call. And it was his son's mother. And she said, he's locked up for murder. And I said, for murder? I said, he just told me he was going to Africa. And she said, yeah, that's where he's locked up for murder at, in Africa. And I flew directly from Paris. I flew straight there.
And this is Namibia.
This was Namibia.
Okay.
And first he was incarcerated for weed, for smoking weed. But once they realized he was getting ready to get built out, they took his passport and they charged him with murder.
Mm.
And up until just a couple of months ago, a lot of people thought that they had a lot more things connected them to this crime than they actually did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they've actually been holding him there for 12 years, denying him bail, and they don't have no evidence. You know what I'm saying? So it's just been a tug of war to fight, trying to get people to listen and trying to get people to fight. And it's just been tons of money and just all type of laws that have been broken. And everybody says he's a citizen. He's the United States, this, that, and the other. But the United States is saying we don't get involved with out-of-country laws. And we all know that that's a lie. You
Which
know,
we've seen, right.
So they just pick and choose who to get involved with. But I mean, 12 years should be enough. Like,
so let me ask you this, because I see a lot of people who are in the chat live asking, how did they go from weed to murder?
how did they go from weed to murder? Because they actually wanted to charge them with a murder, right? Because it was a person that got killed there. And the mother of the person said that her son was going to meet two Americans.
Okay.
My son friend was going to meet the guy. But the mother said where they was going to meet at is not the place where he got killed at. So they said, is it possible that he was going to meet somebody else? And the mother said, anything's possible. But they didn't want to wait, and they didn't want to take a chance of Kevan and his friend coming back to the United States and them not being able to get their hands on them again. So they just charged them with the murder charge to be able to hold them without no DNA, no fingerprints, no witnesses, no anything, just under suspicion.
Mm.
Because they didn't want them to get on a plane. They didn't want them to be able to leave.
Right.
There was no way they was going to be able to get them back. So even the police, like, he just got, a month ago, he just was on the stand and he said he lied. He said, oh, I lied and said that his phone pinged off the tower near the murder victim just so that he could have some type of evidence saying my son's phone was in the area. And then he just got on the stand a month or two. It's on the record saying, no, his phone never pinged from there. I actually lied. So
And this is the police.
And this is the actual police, the investigating officer. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that people don't get to hear or see, or they think because it's in Africa that we not going to know that it's going on. And, you know, every once in a while, I'll see the embassy in the back sitting there writing down something, don't know what they doing. But then when you ask them, they just say, oh, it's nothing we can do until he actually was to get convicted. Then certain things that they can try to work out. But to me, that's too late.
And so far, your son is there 12 years. Nobody is presenting any clarifying evidence to prove that he had anything to do with this situation. Why are they dragging it so long? And what does it look like now that we have the police that's admitting that he lied? Why can't they just release him at this point?
Well, first of all, you're dealing with 12 years of holding someone. So, of course, no one just wants to be able to say, oh, I just dropped a case. We were dead wrong, da-da-da. You know, it's so many things that play a part in this case. And there's so many people that I talk to. A lot of them are Namibians, you know what I'm saying? They don't like to talk publicly about it. But, you know, it's a white victim, you know what I'm saying? It's a white judge. It's a white prosecutor. And they say, yo, how did he get all three of those in Namibia when it's like the percentage of that is like, so, you know, we really careful because a lot of people say it would have never went this far if it was a black on black crime. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that's on the table here. You know, they're the first two Americans to ever be incarcerated over there charged with murder, locked up for the last 12 years. They got, one of them tried to escape. My son was in solitary confinement for 20 months. They got all type of lawsuits against him. So there's so much going on with these kids over there that I tried to get this televised just for the simple fact that if my son did this crime, then he got to do his time. But don't have my son there and you know that he didn't do this crime. Let the world see. Put it on the table. And let's say, yo, here the evidence. Here we got. They said they didn't do that. But I sat in my hotel and watched all types of trials on TV all day long. So, you know, it's the reason that they don't want to put this up there because the evidence that they have will not result into a guilty if everybody can see it. So what are they hiding?
So I do want to ask, when he got to Namibia, how long was he there before this alleged crime took place?
7 days.
7 days. And
then he still had another 7 days to be there. So if you're going down there to do something like that to somebody, you're not going to get a round trip ticket and stay in the same city for a whole nother week. You're going to get you a one-way ticket and get your ass out of there as soon as it happened. He wasn't due to come back for another 7 days.
oh my God. So 7 days now turns into 12 years of
7 days, 12 years.
agony. How is he doing? How is Kevan doing?
I mean, he's incredibly strong. I can say that. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about God didn't leave him there alone. You know what I'm saying? He's had some strong people that's been with him from day one. You know what I'm saying? People that get in touch with me and let me know how he doing. People that actually go visit him. You know, people that I can send money to and they can make sure he has food and things like that because he's there by himself with no family. So mentally he's strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like the jailhouse lawyer. You know what I'm saying? All the things that they didn't have there, like a law library, recreation for the inmates as far as music instruments.
He implemented this?
That he fought for and that he got because he was American citizen, and they never paid attention to the fact that they still have to be held to certain qualifications in jail. Inmates never paid attention to that. So he was basically the first inmate that took him to court, to civil court, and won these things. So as far as the inmates, they love him. You know what I'm saying? You know, people DM me all the time. Yo, I seen your son today on the visit. Yo, he made sure this happened and that happened. Blah, blah, blah. So the people itself, they love him. You know, it's just about what's right and what's wrong here, dealing with the police officers and the way that they handle the case.
I see people asking how old is he? We might have missed that. Can you clarify how old he is today?
Now he's 35. He's been here since he was 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's, I mean, that's
Yeah.
heartbreaking as a parent. You know, like I just don't even know. How are you doing and how do you navigate, like, how is your life knowing that you have a child on a whole nother continent locked away for, you know, this alleged crime that he didn't do, and you're all the way here in America? How has this been on your life and just on your mental?
Nah, I'm gonna tell you something. You know, I tried to like keep going on with life at a point in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm next to Puff, I'm next to Diddy, I'm traveling all over the world. I'm acting like nothing is going on, but at night it's a lot going on. And it got to the point where I had to choose one or the other. You know what I'm saying? Because there are certain people that will shy away from a situation like this. You know what I'm saying? There's people that don't understand. There's people that ask a question and say, well, what was he doing over there? And that's how they'll judge his innocence or
Mm,
guilt, as if a person can't travel or a person can't go nowhere. They won't say, yo, what's the evidence against him? They'll say, well, what was he doing here? He had to be doing something. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And it's basically our people that do that to us. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say it, and it's a lot of things that I blame myself, because there is a lot of questions that I asked myself and that I should have asked him before I let him get on a flight to Africa. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, as a father, I feel that I failed,
mm,
because I'm so busy running around worrying about my life and what I'm doing. I'm not looking back and seeing how his life is changing. All right, he was incarcerated. Yo, let's sit down. Let's talk. What was that about? You know what I'm saying? But being a young father myself at that time, I didn't pay those things attention. Nothing went off in my head.
yeah.
That's why I spend so much time now trying to talk to other young fathers. They got it going on. They're still young enough to have it going on, but they're still raising young man child. So you can't be that man and raise that man. You got to take a seat back now, and you got to raise that boy and make
Yeah.
sure he becomes that man.
Um, are you able, how often are you able to go and physically see him?
Well, he's been in there for 12 years. I've been there 4 times.
Wow.
You know, so I went without seeing him because it's a whole movie. I almost got kidnapped down there. I had to jump in a car. I had to fly back. I couldn't go down there for 4 years. You know, all that'll be inside the book. It's a movie. You know, it wasn't until I got solidified through certain celebrity friends and certain political friends that I knew it was going to be safe for me to go back there that I started going back there again. So in the last 3 years, I've been there 3 times. So I plan on going once he starts trial again next week. I plan on going to the last week of trial, which is supposed to be June, because they have 3 witnesses left, which are 3 officers that reported to the case when it happened. That's the last 3 witnesses. Then the state arrests their case. So they're arresting the case, and I mind you, they still, all of their witnesses, there's not one witness that can place my son with this victim at any time. There's no DNA, there's no fingerprints, there's no gun. They brought in 3 witnesses that said they sold my son a gun, right? And then the lawyer said, have y'all ever been locked up? And all 3 of the guys said, no, we never. He said, so y'all never ever got locked up, but y'all sitting here saying y'all sold somebody a gun. He said, have the police ever been to your house? They said, no, they've never been to our house. Do they have a gun in this case? No. Okay, so the gun could be at your house. So there's so many things that they tried to do and tried to say that just fumbled and fell apart. It made no sense. That you can tell that it was just like a failed setup. So what are they hiding? They had a gun barrel and a silencer that they said that they found inside the same room with my son and them 2 weeks after they had already locked them up. They said they went back there, they searched it, this is what they found. But then they ballistic guy got on the stand and said, okay, yes, this is what they brought to me. He said, but it didn't have no fingerprints on it, and it's never been used. It was brand new, he said, because they can look at the rings on the inside and tell if it's brand new. So he said, yeah, this is what they showed me. So what did y'all do? Go buy something brand new? Like, what's going on?
And plant it.
You know what I'm saying? So now the police is saying that he lied about the telephone. Then when you look at the case, they never ever locked down the place where they locked my son and them at. The police took the computer, took the phones over to the victim parents' house and let them look at it. He never put it inside the evidence room. He never did. And they're in trial saying these things. And he's like, yeah, I just took it. Yeah, I just did it. Then they say, yo, what, do you have any notes? He said, no, I don't have any notes to the case because I threw them away. So he said, what do you mean you threw away the notes? He said, yeah, they were my personal notes, so I threw them away. So then the lawyer showed him where there is no personal notes inside a case if you're a police officer and there's notes to the case, they become evidence. He said,
Right.
oh, I threw them away 5 years ago. If they want them, tell them they can look in the garbage. They might find it. So, like, this is the stuff that people don't get to hear and people don't get to see. And I'm sitting in the courtroom and I'm like, and people sitting there like, what did they say? What did they say? And I'm like, he said, did they really just say that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm wondering right now why the judge didn't just throw the case out. But then he also has a Caucasian white lady and man sitting there with a dead son that if you let these 2 Americans go right here and you don't have nobody else to answer for this, you're looking kind of crazy. But that shouldn't lie on my son's innocence or guilt, how you're going to look.
Right.
You know, and I think that that's where we're at right now.
So once this is cleared and he's out after these 3 next witnesses take the stand, are you able to sue for false imprisonment?
I mean, Natasha, let's be honest. Let's be honest. My son has 3 lawsuits in right now, right? Like I told you, he's very intelligent. He's back and forth to court on his own, back and forth representing himself. He has 1 lawsuit in where they put him in solitary confinement for 24 hours a day for 18 months. You know what I'm saying? His friend tried to escape. His friend got caught in a gate hanging by his jaw and his shoulder. He was hanging from the gate for 24 hours. They got him, put him in the hospital. Then they went to my son and put him in solitary confinement for 18 months.
Let me
to get out.
Let me ask you a question. So the friend that he's locked up with tried to escape. He was hanging by his jaw on this fence.
Right.
Where was your son? Was he trying to escape as well?
No, he was in they on 2 different sides of jails. They don't let them be on the same side. My son was in his cell.
So why did they punish your son?
That was just their way because he's the American co-defendant. So one American is trying to escape. So now they got nervous. So now
Oh,
they go get my son and put him in solitary confinement now. And they left him in there for 18 months. He had to sue, and his lawyer got him out of there. I went to the embassy. I said, "How?" They said, "Mr. Rowan, your son wasn't in solitary confinement for 18 months. They said he was in there for 30 days. They said we just went to see him." So I looked at the guy. I said, "You telling me my son is lying to me?" So he looked at me. He said, "You know how kids are." As soon as I got over to the jail, the lawyer had to walk me into jail. He said, "Mr. Rowan, Kevin was in solitary confinement for 18 months. He said, I'm the lawyer that took the case to trial to get him out." He said, "They don't know what they talking about." So ever since then, I really don't even deal with the embassy because I know really that they don't know what's going on. They don't really have a care about what goes on with my son.
oh, I can hear the pain and the anger just in your voice. Like I don't even know. Like I'm like, how have you slept for the last 12
I
years?
haven't. I've taken naps. I've never slept. I'm up because every time that phone rings, like some people try to compare the two. They try to say, "Yo, I know how you feel. My son is locked up in, like I did Fed time. So, I was in Pennsylvania most of the time. So, but the difference is my mother could have still jumped in a car and got to me in 3 hours. If I get a phone call about my son, which I have got when he went to solitary confinement, when he got stabbed, when the police beat him up, I've gotten these phone calls. And I can't just jump in the car. I can't just jump on a plane and say I'm going to Africa, a 24-hour flight, a $2,700 flight, you know what I'm saying, overnight. So I just got to sit there and pray and hope that the people that I know down there, they get in touch with me, tell me good news. Tell me good news. That's how my life has been. That's what I go through as a father for 12 years.
And so just speaking on the finances, that ticket is a hefty one, especially when you don't have, just endless amounts of funds just funneling through. When you go there, where do you stay? Like what is that? What does the trip look like for you, and how long are you able to stay to take care of the affairs?
I mean, the place is a beautiful place. You know what I'm saying? Honestly speaking, the place is a beautiful place. Like, I hate the fact that I'm down there for them circumstances. And even though, like, you look at some of the stuff that I put up, you see some of the people that's angry and some of the people that say things. I've never witnessed that whenever I go over there. Everybody's super nice to me. Everybody actually knows who I am. You know what I'm saying? So going there is hard. It's a hard flight. It's a 24-hour flight. When you go there, they have regular hotels. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They still have the Hyatt. They have the Avanti Hotel where I stay at.
Regular
Yeah,
accommodations, but
all the accommodations are the same.
it's still costly. And
Sorry.
do you need a water break?
Yeah, I got it right here.
I know that gum you were chewing is probably dry like a cardboard now.
Yeah, out, out.
So when it comes to, between all of the fees that you have to pay for his lawyer, I've seen many times you have put up a call to action, for your supporters that are following you and supporting you in this case. I know at one point I saw you had "My Son Is Your Son" merchandise line, if I'm saying that correctly.
Right.
Do you still have that, and what are some of the things that you are doing to, just garner financial support from the public?
Well, I always throw little events that we talk about, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people perform. I update people on what's going on, what we using the funds for. See, a lot of people are used to the way we do it in the United States. You know what I'm saying? You say one price. Oh, will you take this case? Yeah, I'll take the case. $25,000. But they don't do that over there. Over there, they break the cases up in sections. So each 4-month sections is $11,000. It's $10,000. So this has been going on for 12 years. You can't stop doing it because there's nobody there to make sure your son is okay. There's nobody there to make sure if they try to do anything illegal to him. So you have to have somebody there that's going
Like
to
an
answer. But
advocate.
you know what I mean? So, at first, when you shake it and move and you feel it, but you don't think it's going to last this long, so you don't sweat it. 3 years, 4 years, you're like, okay, we got that. We ready. I'm prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? But then when it starts lasting like 9, 10 years, you know what I'm saying? You're not prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? But you realize that this kid is innocent, and you really feel it in your heart that he's innocent, and you start seeing the lies and everything, and as a parent, you feel like I can't let him down. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm mad at you. Yeah, we'll have that conversation later. We'll talk about that later. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I got to be a father. I got to be here. So, a lot of people don't understand the downgrades and the things that I've done. But I think if they was in the same predicament, that a lot of people would do the same thing.
Absolutely. Now let's talk on a future, like in this hopeful future positive foot. He gets released. What does it look like? What are some of the things that you're able to share with us here? Because he's been locked away for 12 years. Life has definitely, changed since he's been home in America at that.
Right.
What are some of the things that he talks about that he wants to do that he's looking forward to doing?
I mean, like, it's funny with him, man, because he has so many dreams, and he's not here to see how it's changed. You know what I'm saying? But his thing is he's big on the gang. He's big on gangs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no secret that he was a blood. It's no secret that he had got locked up. So he sees, but it's no secret that he also went to Brooklyn Tech, which is one of the most prestigious high schools that you can go to for technology. It's not a secret that he had a scholarship and played ball. It's not a secret that Kenny Smith wanted him to play out in Houston. So he had the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? So he realizes that it's a lot of kids that get involved in stuff like he got involved with that don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, his back wasn't against that war. He just wanted to look a certain way and be a certain way and be accepted because he didn't have that tough image that he was supposed to have. So he got caught in having to show that I could fight. I'm yellow. I'm a yellow bone. You know what I'm saying? So I got to fight a little bit more. And he got caught up in those things. And what he's learned in being in Africa is being someplace outnumbered. He learned to be a man. He learned to stand on his own. He learned how to say, if this is wrong, no matter what's against me, I got to stand this firm. So,
Yes.
and that's what he want to teach. That's what he want to learn. He knows 3 languages now. He speaks fluent Africana. He speaks fluent colored, which are 2 different languages in Africa. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting law cases. So he talks about being a paralegal because he's so many people in jail down there. So many different things that he talks about doing. But most of all, he wants his story to be told. You know what I'm saying? Like, he
Absolutely.
writes down every single thing. And he's like, Pop, this is so like nobody's never been what I've been through. I've asked him how does he survive it? Because I did 12 years incarcerated. But like I said, I did 12 years in Fed. I got my man from the block that I might be able to see every day or call my family. Like, he really gets to call family. Just recently, they gave us a number that we could call every Friday and Saturday night, like 4 in the morning our time, 10 in the morning his time, and they'll put us through to him.
Oh my God.
So that's a blessing and something that we fought for and that they've been able to do. And like I said, besides the 1 or 2 families that's down there that have really adopted my son, I mean, go there on Christmas to make sure they read the Bible with him, make sure he has food, make sure like there's people there that sign for him to get bailed out, that show like we're not just signing for him to bail out. If you look through, we've been visiting him for the last 12 years. Like
Yeah.
we have relationships. You know, these are the same people that if you just really looked at Instagram, you think that everybody got hate. And it's not like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot of love.
Let me ask you, with what happened and how it happened and how long your son has been on this continent in, in Africa, in Namibia, has this changed your vision on the continent in totality? Like, are you like, how do you feel just because of what you're going through and the injustice?
I'm gonna be real with you. I got a lot of friends in Namibia. Like throughout this ordeal, I have real friends, like real friends that I can pick up the phone and I can really check on my son, or real friends if I need to get there and make sure I'm able to get there. Like these are Namibians, so I don't have nothing against the continent. I have something. What this has woke me up to is just a fear of traveling. Period. Not
Mm,
going to Namibia, but when people don't realize when you go over to these other countries, you're in their hands now. Like in real live talk, if they come and get you and lock you up, you got a hell of a fight trying to get back and prove that you're innocent. So it's just gave me a fear of really you leaving the United States. Period.
wow. And that's, I mean, that's
Every time I
understandable.
go there, every time I go there, I have that fear. Like, what am I going to hear when I land in Namibia? You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I almost got kidnapped before. When it all was said and done, it was what they call the police friends that tried to do it, and it was like a whole lot of Oh, it's gonna be. Yeah, stay tuned. It's gonna be worth it. Trust me.
Well, I'm definitely praying for you. I've been watching for a long time, a very long time, and it's about time that this case come to a close just because they can't find anything. So I'm rooting for you and I'm cheering for you. How can we support you? What are some links? Where can we go? What's out there that we can do to support?
One of the things that hurt me more than anything is that, and I'm not surprised when I say hurt. I don't mean like hurt like that. Is that people wouldn't get behind this? Like like let's like I've never told anyone to get on a platform and say my son was innocent. I never would put that burden on anyone. I've always got on a platform and said, yo, let's get the case going. Let's get the evidence. What facts do you have? If the facts show that my son is innocent, he's innocent. If it shows that he's guilty, he's guilty. So I've asked people to get on their platform and say, yo, what about this American man child that's been incarcerated in Namibia for the last 12 years? What about his case? Why don't people talk about that? Why don't people, you have so many organizations that say they care about, and he went to college, he graduated from high school, so he's not a bad kid. Okay, he's charged with something, but he's supposed to be innocent until found guilty. So what about him? Why people don't talk about him? So that's more of what people could have done for me, because along with recognition, then you automatically get the things that you need. One of the things that he needs is a good legal team to show that he's innocent. You know what I'm saying? You can go over there and be nobody and be innocent, and just because the deck is stacked against you, you be found guilty because you
Yeah.
don't have the right legal team to show your innocence. So when I get on things, I say, I'm not a bum in the street. I'm just hit with something that says, damn, I wasn't expecting no legal fees from Africa. Okay, maybe we can get on here. I started Cash App. I seen meth addicts get on Cash App and get $1 million. So I say, oh, maybe somebody will care about this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe my son is your son. Maybe your child is my child. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that I've ever asked, is that he just be able, that we just fight enough. You know, I sell T-shirts. Sometimes I'm out on the street. Sometimes people will pass me. I pull over, yo, they be like, yo, you got it in the trunk? Yeah, I got it in the trunk. Boom, boom. Yeah, like I do anything just to make sure I pay the legal fees.
Yeah.
That's what people can help me with.
And where can these T-shirts be found? Do you have a website for it?
No, right now I don't. Oh, yes. The website actually is Stocks and Bonds,
Okay.
right? Stocks and Bonds on Instagram is Stocks and Bonds Clothing, and they sell it right straight through their website with their other merchandise. But you'll see the Justice for Kevin T-shirts there.
Okay.
And then we also have a GoFundMe that's Justice for Kevin. And then we also have a Cash App that's Justice for Kevin. The GoFundMe is the link in my bio, though.
And his name is spelled Kevan?
Kevan. And then we also have the links on there where you'll see the pictures, where you actually see the lawyer and his direct account. You know, some people feel like, oh, I don't want to send it here, there. I want to make sure you can send it directly to Namibia, and the lawyer tell me that it got there.
Okay. And so you have a link. You said you have a link in the bio,
Yes,
right?
I do.
And the link in the bio has all of this.
Yes, it does.
Okay. I'll make sure I post that. So anybody who missed all of that information, make sure you follow Bonds. Just click the drop down button and you can just click follow right there. You don't have to come out of the screen, and I will make sure that I post it in my stories after the show, so that it's also easier to reach as well. I thank you so much for just taking the time out of your life to come here and share with us what's going on, and allowing us to learn about this and support in any way that we all can. I do hope that you never ever lose your strength. You know, we're all sitting here listening to you, and I can hear the pain. I can hear the, just the anger and upset in your voice. We see it in your face, and like I said, I don't even know how the heck you are still functioning after so long and so much letdown. So I just want you to continue to stay strong. You still have good energy. Like, your energy is good.
Yeah, I'm not. First of all, I appreciate you giving me this platform to let people know. You know what I'm saying? It means the world to me. And he'll see it. He'll definitely get to see it. Sometimes it amazes me. He has a little girlfriend down there, and she'll hit me on WhatsApp and say, "Pop, he's seen you today." Da 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 da. So I can't let my energy be like I've actually left off the visit, and he'll tell me, he'll be like, "Yo, Pop," and my son is 6'3", so he's taller than me. So he'll be like, "Yo, Pop, lift your head up." I mean, he's like, "It's gonna be all right." And I'll be like, "Yo, damn." And I look and I say, "Damn, he telling me this?" And I look at the lawyer and I'll be like, "Yo, you heard what he just told me?" And the lawyer be like, "Yes, Mr. Roy, I heard. He's strong guy. He's strong guy." And I'll be like, "Yeah." So, I'm just waiting for the day that they say, we was wrong.
Yeah.
A lawsuit, going back to a lawsuit. Yeah, we can put in a lawsuit. How long it'll take to get a lawsuit from Africa, you know what I'm saying? We never, ever, ever, ever know, but my son has signed papers and has said, don't let that be the reason that you find me guilty, because I will sign any type of paper I have to, saying that I will not sue. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be let free. You know what I'm saying? So if that makes a difference, he has told his lawyer that, like, I will not sue anything. I just want to be let go.
Right.
He's even said, you can give me any crime. If y'all just want to give me a crime, y'all can give me any crime except murder. He said, because I already been here 12 years. It's nothing but a murder charge that would cause me to be here more than what I've been here for. And and it's so many people. The maid said, yo, they know that my son was inside the hotel when this happened. The cleanup person said it. So it's just them just not wanting to let him go, you know, and not wanting to say they wrong. And now so much time has went on and so many people has gotten involved that it's like, okay. But
You know,
he's like, oh.
you know what? It just occurred to me. Your, your son, he's a good-looking guy. He's tall. He's smart. He now knows 3 languages. He implemented the library in the jail. He brought over the gym. I don't know. I think he's doing too much. He's doing too much. I wouldn't want, let me tell you something. If I had somebody here and I had them in my house and they started implementing all this new stuff, I might not let them go either.
No, but the good thing is that he's implemented for the inmates, so they want him out of there.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
let me tell you something. The inmates are going to be sad when he leaves. The officials are probably going to be sad. He's probably polite and he talks to them and he probably prays with them, and you know what I'm saying. So they're probably like, "Hey, that's a good one. We got to keep him here." So,
Well,
so tell him it's time to hang it up and just chill out
no,
and stop putting all this
honestly,
new stuff.
he has a 12-year-old son that was 6 months when he got locked up. So,
Oh
he
wow,
got a 12-year-old son that he needs to get home to. You know what I'm saying?
wow.
Who doesn't even know him. He only knows him whenever he gets to a letter from him.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Or things like that. Or whenever the mother gets up to make the phone call now that they let us call him. And he's like, Dad, when are you coming home? I play basketball like you. And,
that just hurt my
yeah.
soul.
So he's been here 12 years and he has a 12-year-old son. So that tells it all. So if he just wants to give this to him because he don't want the same thing. I was incarcerated. Now he's incarcerated. Now his son is there. So what do? You're going to pass the baton? So he wants to get back, show his son that's not the way. That's not part of life. It's not normal,
Oh my God.
And
I'm so, so, so sorry. That kid was robbed. Both of them were robbed. He was robbed of being a
be
father,
quiet.
and his son was robbed of having his dad. So that's, oh my, this movie is going to be incredible. The book, the movie, like this is something, this is definitely something that we need to see this, because just hearing about it, I mean, I know everybody watching live and everybody watching on the replay, I mean, I can only imagine the scenarios from what you're hearing that you're creating in your minds. It's unbelievable. Like, it really is unbelievable.
Right,
So,
right.
well,
I
listen.
look at him like that when I be there. I'll be looking at him and he be like, yo, Pop, what you looking at? And I'll be like, yo, you all right? You okay? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm okay, man. I'm okay. And I'd be like, 18 months? He said, yeah, man, I only got out for 20 minutes a week for a shower. And he said, I watched them. He said, I watched them build this jail. I said, what you mean? He said, they physically built a cell and I watched them build a cell every day. And then this is the cell that they put me in after they built it. And he said, they put me in there for 18 months. And I got a picture of the cell, I got a picture of it in the cell. He's in the cell, his Bible, all his clothes is hung up, and he's inside the cell where he get the picture from, but he's inside the cell with his arms crossed. And he said, this is the cell I was in. He said, I only came out for a 20-minute shot. I said, you ain't get an hour out a day, because that's how we did it here. He
Right.
said, nah, we ain't getting no hour out a day. He said, I was in there 24 hours a day. And I was like, wow.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
The lawyer said yes. So he has a $3 million lawsuit against the jail and against the city of Namibia for that also. So he goes back and forth to court for that too.
Well, in the name of Bevy Smith, it gets greater later, and it's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. It's time, and I just, please don't ever lose your steam. You've
Yeah.
done a lot already. You're here with me right now. I'm hoping that, just from you being here, we can get more eyes, more ears on this, and we really get the ball aggressively going so we can get him on a flight expeditiously. Now,
Expeditiously.
before I let you go, I know you mentioned that, sometimes he's able to, or his girlfriend would be able to say that they saw you and things like that. I see you have a lovely a lovely sign above you that says love. Now I'm going to turn the comments off. So everybody who's commenting right now, I just want you to hold your comments, hold your comments, hold your comments, because we're going to take a picture. I want you to sit up. I want you to smile, make it come from somewhere, so that in this moment, I want your son to be able to see his dad smiling after he shared this story,
No
because
question.
that's going to make him feel good. Okay.
No question.
All right. So let me get right, because you look all nice
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna
glowing.
hit you with the smile now. I'm gonna give
You got all your
you
teeth
that.
shining.
Yeah,
All right. You ready?
that.
All right. One, two, three. Look at you. And it says love.
You
You
know,
got
this is my background, my Zooms. You know, I got my Zooms that go on and everything with the office and everything. So this is the energy that I be wanting to give as soon as we get on.
You do. What are some colors? Give us some colors. I definitely want red to be in there, for love. What's another color? Give me like three colors so that we can virtually love on you when I turn these comments on.
I love purple. I love purple
Purple.
lavender. Yeah.
All right. So red and purple. Let's put some red and purple hearts in here. This is
Yeah.
our way to, just be able to
And then we gotta
virtually.
put green. We gotta put green in there because we trying to get some money for this lawyer fee.
Oh,
We got
definitely.
the green.
Listen, everybody, trying to get that happening.
We trying to go to Cash App is Justice for Kevan. Kevan. The
Okay.
GoFundMe link is in the bio. The T-shirt link is Stocks and Bonds. You'll see the Justice for Kevin T-shirts, and we got
Is it
something
four? Is
coming up.
it the number four or spelled out FOR?
The number 4,
Okay.
Justice for Kevan. Kevan.
Okay, everybody. I'm going to pin that. Justice for Kevin Bonds. I'm gonna pin it, and you just look at the pin and let me know if that pin.
Yep, Justice for Kevin.
Okay. Justice for Kevin. I know, I wish I could take the badges off so that you guys can see him clearer but I can't. I don't know if Instagram has instilled that where I can, so I'm sorry. So Justice for Kevin, everybody, if you came in late, this will be repurposed here on Instagram, and it will also be edited and sent over to YouTube. So you can definitely go back and watch this full conversation. We had Bonds, the general. He was here with us and talked about, we had an extensive conversation about his son, Kevan, who has been incarcerated in Namibia, Africa, for the last 12 years for an alleged crime that he is falsely being accused of. So he's almost home. He's almost home. You see, I hope you see all the hearts. That's all the love.
He's
I want to.
home. He's home. It's in existence already. That's how I really got, like, I turned on, I listened to Joe Osteen, right? I got this box that my sister brought me, and it has all the Joe Osteen sermons and all that. And I just pressed it, and when I hit it this morning, it said, you gotta put it, it's already happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So people say, yo, why you up? Why you smiling, and why you acting different now? Because my son is home. And they be like, yo, he bugging out. I be like, no, I'm not bugging out. You know, he's home.
Because you could feel it. You could feel it.
I can feel it.
Your energy, I will say, after following you for so many years now, and learning and just watching your movements here, I'm honestly speaking, your energy does feel different now. So I feel sad when, when he goes to court and then it's something else. Like, it breaks my spirit, because I know it's taken a lot for you to just be this way now. If I feel broken when it comes back, I can only imagine what it's doing for you. But I'm impressed with just how you are today. I really am. You're giving us
days.
Yeah.
You're gonna have those days. Don't get me wrong. You're gonna have those days. You're gonna have those days where you don't you don't feel like, yo, I don't want to be up to date. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's just that you can't stay that way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's okay to feel that way. You just can't stay that way. Sometimes people don't realize I turn on Instagram so that I won't stay that way. Because I
Yeah.
don't, sometimes I don't want somebody to see me that way. So Instagram will make me come out that way. Same way
Yes.
if you go to the gym and it makes you feel a certain way, sometimes I flip it on just so I can make myself get out of that run.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
I always say the sun is always shining above the clouds. So it's easier said and it's easier to hear than to apply. But when you really think about it, the sun never stops shining. And so when we have those days, when you have those days, his mom, his siblings, just always say that the sun is always shining above the clouds, and we're going to get through this. And now that you're here and we officially did this, I have no choice but to make sure I do my part and we do our part, and my audience, my
Alhamdulillah.
little piece of the internet in the corner of the country, I'll do whatever I can to make sure that I contribute to bringing your baby boy home.
Alhamdulillah. I appreciate you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bonds, the general. We're going to talk. We're going to talk behind the scenes. I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you too.
All
I
right.
love
Have a good
everybody
night.
tuned in today. Thank you.
All right.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Man, he's got good energy. I will say his energy is top tier, and as a mother, and I'm sure there's so many parents in here who felt that, parents, aunties, grandparents, like the whole story is so heartbreaking. And so I want all of us to do our part in whatever way we can to, wrap our arms around this family, wrap our connections, our brain, everything. So as soon as you see this post, make sure you share it. Once it populates on my page, when I put it up on YouTube, make sure you share those links. I will put the link that he said you can find all of the information to support Kevan. It's in the link in his bio, but I'll make sure I'll put it in the stories for you all to be able to access. If you are watching this live right now, whether you're in the chat or you're a silent watcher, I have it pinned. Justice and the number 4, Kevan, Kevan. If you're watching this on the replay, the Cash App to support Bonds and his son Kevan, to offset costs for the lawyers, travel, everything like that. The Cash App is Justice, Justice, the number 4, Kevan, and then Kevan is spelled Kevan. And like I said, I will make sure I'll put all that information in my stories, and I'll also put it in the link in my bio, for any future viewership, for anybody to click and find. Shout out to the room. Shout out to the whole room. I really hope you all enjoyed that conversation. That's the show, everybody. That is the show. Again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Actually, nope, I never say that. From the depths of my heart, from the warmest place of my heart, I thank you all. I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, the Natasha Simona sequence, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and wherever else you are in the world, do the time conversion and meet me right back here. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.